The spoken word poetry I chose is by Lily Myers and named Shrinking Women. I watched this poem first out of about 10 different videos, but still returned to it because of how accurate I feel that it is. I was extremely moved when watching this because of all the times I felt that there were double standards I was forced to succumb to. The message of women shrinking for men was also moving because I felt how important it is to convey how young girls pick up on these habits and ideals. What stuck out to me is the discussion on family dynamics and how the men and women of the household have always had different experiences for generations. Even in our day and age, with so many feminist developments, girls are still growing up with the potentially damaging ideals that have been instilled with them since they were children. So Lily Myers, she steps up to the mic and speaks with confidence, and there is a passion in her voice throughout the entire poem, but especially when she is talking about how her brother truly does not understand her struggles and her relationship with food. And this is something that she has learned from her mom, while her brother has always been encouraged by the dad and the mom to feel comfortable with food and himself as a person. He does not understand her relationship because of how their father taught them both differently. The tone contributes to the impact because it reinforces her feelings while also explaining how she has always been designed to take up less space, and she goes into detail on the generational curse passed down from her mother that causes her to feel a certain way about food. And so Myers' vocal delivery was extremely interesting to me because before she starts speaking, you can see that she takes a few deep breaths with her eyes shut just to kind of calm herself down before she goes and talks. So, based on the body language alone, you can tell that this is something that the artist has struggled with throughout her past, and maybe since she was a child, she's always felt this way. But while speaking throughout the video, she's talking with her hands, and she opens them and closes them like this multiple times. When she's talking about shrinking, she tends to close them like tighter, and when she's talking about her brother's emotions and her father, she opens her hands a lot wider. And so it's almost like she's opening them wider and smaller based on what she's feeling in that exact moment. And so one literary device I noticed was that she used a mix of personification and a metaphor when she said, "We learned it from each other. The way each generation taught the next how to knit, weaving silence in between the threads, which I can still feel as I walk through this ever-growing house." So that timestamp was at 2 minutes and 13 seconds to 2 minutes and 22 seconds. And I felt when I heard this that it was silence is being treated as a physical material that can be woven into something, so that's the personification part of it. And this is also comparing harmful expectations that the mother and that men have for women compared to knitting, showing that it's something that can be learned and taught, being passed down from generation to generation. And so the next literary device I chose was irony, and it was represented when she said, "My mother smiles over red wine that she drinks out of a measuring glass." So this was the first sentence that she said when she opened up, and the timestamp is 23 seconds to 30 seconds. And so emphasizing the use of a measuring glass for wine shows that the limitations that her mother is currently under, and that she still is trying to deal with said issues by having a glass of wine. And typically wine can represent relaxation, calming down, but the fact that she's measuring it in a measuring glass shows the control that she's trying to take back. And so a big literary device used throughout the entire poem was repetition. So Myers often would reference the word shrinking multiple different times. For example, at 1 minute to 1 minute and 20 seconds. And this just emphasizes her feelings that she's always been taught to feel smaller or less than. And throughout the entire poem, you can tell that she's felt smaller or less than. For another example, she talked about even in class when asking questions, every single question started off with sorry. And that's something I feel that I can really relate to, just being nervous to ask or feeling like you have to feel bad about something when in reality you should start off confident and feel strong, which is how she feels like her brother was raised compared to her. So she explains the story really well by starting off with explaining her mother's behavior, and it really sets the tone for how she is, how she grew up, and why she feels so stuck. And she then proceeds to explain her relationship with food and the feelings of knowing that her brother and father will not truly be able to understand. And there are so many gender expectations that women face, and I feel that just this poem is a good start for women to truly feel seen and heard, as well as a way for men to realize that maybe when they have a family, or maybe when they are talking to their siblings, women, whoever it is, that there's a way to break this generational curse starting off as children. And throughout the video, I would see different examples of food and how her mother would only eat slightly this, or she would talk about in picking a meal that had the least amount of calories just so she would feel comfortable, or not feeling comfortable to eat in the public space. And I feel like it opens up a discussion for men and women to just be more open and supportive of each other, and just treating everyone the same starting off when they're younger, so it makes it easier for people as they grow older to not feel like they're stuck in a box.